I'm learning this whole new gear thing right here. Okay, there's your work there. Okay, go on now.
Hello, how do you do?
Okay, yes, sweet. Right, Sorelle, you comfortable?
I'm comfortable.
All right, well, thank you for coming down to our humble abode on the land here.
Pleasure, absolute pleasure. This is, if anyone's not watching the podcast, I'm currently patting a kangaroo.
Yeah, so for the viewers, this is Ruby the kangaroo. Anyway, Sorelle, you are a very good friend of ours, but I actually don't. For one, I don't know your story. For two, actually don't understand your story, because you putting your feet down here have become quite good friends with us, and you're kind of living in a similar way on the land and starting this whole new story. But you've got this whole other world, this YouTube world, where it's pretty funny because you're just our friend that comes around for dinner, we go down the beach, we hang out at the point, and then every so often I look at social media and there's this whole other you. Now, like you have made this name for yourself on YouTube and Instagram. You're one of my friends that I actually say you're an influencer, whether if that has anything meaning to you or not. But like you've got quite a big following on Instagram. You've got this huge following on YouTube and you do some really cool videos there. But I kind of realized like my friend Sorelle is this YouTuber, but I actually don't know your story, even how you started, where you started. And then I was thinking about the other day, I was like, I don't even know where you grew up. Like I know you're part Polish and I said that the other day, but I was like, where did you even grow up?
Hello. No, this is great because I really like that. My friends don't really know so much about that side of things. I prefer my friendships to be very much just based off connection rather than anything else. So where shall I start? I was born on 14th of January 1989.
Yeah, how old are you?
I'm 37 now.
Yeah, 37.
Yeah,
So,
just turned 37.
yeah, where did your story start? Like, where did you grow up? Like, where?
I was born in Paddington and I grew up at Bondi Beach.
Really?
Yeah, when it was cool. It was like this small hippie little part of Sydney back in the day, which is crazy to even imagine, but it was not some crash hot place to go to like it is now, where all the rich people and the, great booty chicks and all that live. It was not that desirable back in the day, and we lived there really close to the beach for the first 5 years of my life and then moved to Poland for 6 years.
So you did grow up and so because your dad's Polish.
My whole family's Polish.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my whole lineage is Polish and a tiny bit Russian. Yeah, so I'm the first generation Australian together with my siblings.
And so do you speak Polish?
I do, yeah.
Do you speak Russian?
No. No, I speak to the level of a 11-year-old Polish, so it's pretty basic because I haven't really spoken the language since. But yeah, I'm definitely Polish. I'm very proud of it now. For a while there, not so much.
And so then where did you go to high school?
I went to high school in Ashcroft High in Sydney. When we got back from Poland, I lived with my grandparents in the western suburbs of Sydney for a couple of years. Then my mum met my stepdad and we moved to Ballina. So I went to Ballina High School.
Really?
Yeah.
Things do a full circle.
Yeah.
So what, like as the teenage you, looking back, what was your dreams and aspirations then? Was it to be, because when we were growing up, you're a couple of years younger than me, there wasn't smartphones, there wasn't social media. So like what were your dreams and aspirations then?
It's always been somehow linked to cameras. And I just remember I wanted my life to be really big. So much so my mum doesn't even understand why I had this desire to make it such an enormous life. I just knew I wanted to make it enormous, and I didn't know what that was going to look like, but I had this idea of filming. I remember the first time I picked up a camera, there was just something that came over me, and I was just filming the waves rolling onto the sand. And my dad said, he's like, oh, you really have an eye for this. So maybe somewhere in there it sparked some sort of inspiration. But it was all linked with cameras, and I knew I wanted to travel. The only goal, I remember being 18, and the only goal I ever had for myself was to be able to work on a laptop so I could work from anywhere. Because I wanted to travel. I just wanted to travel. I wanted to see the world.
Was anyone doing that then? Because this whole like traveling, because when I started backpacking, this whole work and travels, it was like, that was, go work on a fruit farm or go planting trees in Canada or get on a fishing boat in Alaska or be a deckhand out of Florida or something, you know,
Yeah.
like, and none of that was for me. And now this digital nomad thing, it's like there's a lot of, I met people yesterday and they've been living in Bali the last 6 months, they're digital nomads. And I'm like, what? And I'm still figuring out what that means, because now it's like we've come into this world where we can work anywhere, you know, in the office. But what did that look like for you? It was like,
it wasn't as common. The beginnings of my journey on YouTube was teaching people and inspiring them to do like digital nomad stuff. I was like, guys, you don't have to have a normal job. You can actually travel and you can work online. Like, you don't have to do this. And now it's so overused, and so many people have spoken about this. But I almost feel like, yeah, I was in the early waves of encouraging people to not follow the normal route. And I'm sure backpacking was a really big thing for like a minority of people back in the day. The ones like the maybe the weirdos that were growing up, they were like, I'm out, see you later. And the more adventurous ones. But now everybody does it, because there's no, I don't even know if backpacking is as much of a thing anymore.
Well,
it's not as scary of an adventure even.
I think it should have a new name.
Yeah.
Because
fancy travels.
backpacking, I think, because
suitcase travel.
Yeah, you're living out of a
young adult travels.
Book ahead with Airbnb travels.
Yeah, it's nowhere near as rough as it was. Like, there was no Google Maps, there was no Airbnb, there was nothing. Like, you just had to figure everything out.
So, for you being this 18-year-old, when you were 18, was YouTube?
No.
So
yeah, it wasn't around. Oh, if it was around, it was like in the earliest days.
And you hadn't found it yet.
Maybe it was like a year old or something. I came in when YouTube, I think, was 10 years old, which is crazy to think about, because now everybody knows it. It's like second nature. But that was another thing. I wanted to be a YouTuber for so many years. When I first learnt of the concept that you could just upload a video onto this channel and you could just reach anyone, I was like, oh my gosh, that sounds cool. And I was making, for 5 years, I made videos that were just so bad. They were just so bad. And I was really embarrassed, because to put yourself out back in the day, make videos of yourself, people were laughing in my face. They were like, what are you doing? Like, who do you think you are? What the hell are you doing?
And that's normal. That's normal now. Like, if you look at the younger generation, it's normal to hold a camera up and film yourself talking and express all your emotions to the camera. I just want to jump back to when you were 18 and you said, like, you had this dream to travel. How did that manifest for you?
Can you expand on
how did you save the money? Like, where did you want to go? How did you start traveling?
So I was 17, and there was the opportunities to travel, as I said, it wasn't as easy back in the day. But there was this volunteer program that I came across, because even the internet wasn't that popular yet. A volunteer program came up, and you could be chosen to be a small percentage of people, volunteers, that would be scattered around the world. Like, they would choose a location for you to go and volunteer. And my top 3 options came through as like Malaysia, Canada, and some other place. And they initially said, oh, you're going to go to Malaysia. And I was so upset. I know, I wish I took that opportunity. Instead, I decided to go to Canada, which was also amazing. But I volunteered for 6 months in Canada. I got paid like $300 a month Canadian to just cover some bills. And then, I had to pay all my flights there, everything, insurance, all that jazz. But that was the first and only way I really knew how to travel overseas. So that was me 17 going on to 18. No,
so what were you doing as a volunteer?
I was working as an outdoor education instructor. Yeah. Summer camp.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, it was sick. It was fun.
That's like, to be honest, I think that might have been more fun than Malaysia.
I don't know what that would have been like. I reckon it would have changed my entire trajectory of my life.
I suppose I was thinking Malaysia might be something with Borneo and like orangutans or something in a rainforest, like on the other side of Malaysia. I don't know. But I spent 4 months doing up a yacht there, and it was just really hard to get anything done.
Oh, really?
So, when we bought our yacht back in the day. So when you started this spark for you to travel, and you started off in Canada, and there wasn't a YouTube yet. So after this travel, like, how did that project you into the future? Like, what was...
I don't even know how it all happened, but I worked 6 months as an outdoor education instructor, working with a bunch of kids, just having a ball. It was so fun. we had such a blast just doing outdoor activities. And then did 3 months travels with my dad in Europe. That was the first time. I hadn't seen him for 6 years, I think. So that was a really nice reunion.
Is this like doing these trips as a young girl? Is this changing you? Like, is it
Yeah.
changing your idea of what life is, and in what way?
Completely. I don't know what I would be like without the travels. It's so second nature to me. But I know it's done a lot of insane things just even to my brain, because one of the biggest things I think is like I can I feel at home everywhere. The world is my home. I don't see, like I can be friends with people no matter what they look like, no matter where they're from. I don't give a shit. Like I'm going to be your friend based on connection more than anything. I don't think the world is scary at all. I don't think it's out to get you at all. I think for sure people are more good than bad. And I don't have any regrets. Actually, that's probably a big one. I know, yeah, as a young woman, how has it changed me? I mean, it's completely unplugged me from any possible reality of living like a normal, quote unquote, mainstream media. I can't live in the mainstream anymore.
Yeah, well, I know. I'm sitting here. I think it did the same to me. Well, I just remember when I first took off overseas, it was suddenly like, wow, there's more ways to live than just the way that I've been told. And this pressure of society, of the collective consciousness that's around where I am, was like, you have such a narrow vision that that's the only way. And suddenly you go out and you see all these other ways to live, and not just other ways to live, people being super happy.
Yeah.
But there's something in your collective consciousness of where you're from that is getting told that that's wrong. I wouldn't do it like that. And when you go there, it's just people are happy. And it's just like, well, it doesn't matter how you're doing it as long as you're kind of happy. You know what I mean? And it's like that you've got community, and it just opens up. I think what traveling does for me, it does kind of the same as this podcast. It takes me into this energy field of endless possibility, that it's all okay. That it's just however it is, however anyone's doing it is okay, because there's a million ways to do it. You know what I mean? There's no right and wrong. There's no this is the better way, this is this way. It's just they do it this way.
Yeah, that's very true.
You know what I mean? And who am I in my culture to say that these people, if they're happy and living a good life and have connection, are wrong? You know what I mean? It's just like you go to these places, and like how you said, the world, it suddenly becomes not scary. Like there was a few streets in South America I got told not to walk down, and I walked down, and I was like, that was pretty scary. But in general, most places in South America I went to, people just opened up their doors. Most places in Asia and in Europe, and well, like it's just, the world was so hospitable. And then you come back, and I want to then segue into this. It was like, after you first got this taste of traveling, like what happened when you came back to the normal life in Australia?
Yeah, I remember that. Before I get there, I just want to say, like, the other thing that I've picked up on is definitely along the lines of what you're saying is judgmental. Like, there is not really such a thing as right or wrong in my books, which is confusing in a very black and white world.
Yeah.
People are like, that's wrong, this is right, this is right, this is wrong. I'm like, I don't see it. I'm curious. I've become curious. So that's been a huge benefit. I've just noticed that a lot of my life has made me a little bit ostracized from the way that most people think. And specifically, I would say, not specifically, but Australians as well, because it is such a narrow view of, like, if you don't travel, you're not going to see you're not going to experience how epic, like the Middle East is one of my favorite places in the world. The people are the nicest, and they do things very differently to us in some ways. But yeah, so I really enjoy that aspect of travel. That is just, curiosity sparked more than anything. Coming back to the normal world, I'm sure you experienced this as well. No one gives a shit about your travels.
Yeah.
You're like, guys, I just spent like 12 months overseas. It was freaking sick. And they're like, oh yeah, cool. That's nice. Oh, well, I bought a new car.
Yeah.
It's like nothing had changed, but I've just become a brand new person, like such a different being.
Yeah.
In that. And yeah, I didn't value materialism. Still don't value materialism anywhere near experiences. Like, experiences are the most important thing, I think.
Yeah, it took me a couple of years. I remember this mate of mine that I'd met in I ran into him twice in Mexico. He went horseback across Colombia. He got a motorbike in Mexico, went down to Panama, down to the canal. And he just did these really cool trips. And I remember I was working up north, and he called me one day. He was working out in the mines in Newcastle, I think inland in Newcastle. And he called me super depressed. And he's like, man, I've experienced too much. I can't be happy. I can't come home and be happy. And I had experienced this where I've just been living with no responsibility, so much freedom, so much excitement, so much wonder and awe of the world and connection and beauty, and then suddenly coming home and, having that collective consciousness come in on you, and, oh, this is how you got to be like this. Why aren't you doing this? And then, doing it back in the mundane kind of lifestyle of what I call. And I kind of had to realize that wasn't wrong. It was just how I was viewing it. I kind of got to a place, and I remember talking to him. I was like, yeah, we've experienced like what it's like to sit on a hammock on a beach for 6 months and just go surfing and have nothing. And I'm like, and it was amazing. But it's like, now we've got to figure out how to do that with our minds here, because that freedom still is everywhere. And it was like, I just find that, it's like the path to enlightenment, or, monks is somewhere in there, and anyone can do it. You can be super happy. That's why a monk can sit there meditating all day and be super, fulfilled. Right. And I kind of realized it was like, yeah, when I get on that plane, there suddenly is no story for me anymore. There's no story. So I can just be whoever I want. My pure expression of myself is just free to be me. And so it's so fulfilling. And the path to enlightenment, or the path of like waking or becoming wise, I think, and is learning to be you in all circumstances, learning to be you and fulfilled in everything. And I remember it was such a shock to the system where, as a young 20-year-old spending a year and a half backpacking, and suddenly, boom, coming back and working, I couldn't do it. I ran away again. Like, I wasn't running. I was just like, man, I'm going. And I went for another year and a half. I was like, this is me now, and then somewhere in there I had to kind of find the balance. But it's like, when I talk to people, especially young people, I say, go travel. And I say, it's such an easy way to find out who you are and experience those amazing moments. And then, it's like once you've experienced, you know what to aim for. For me, like now, me as like, a father and a partner and everything, it's like, I know that existence is there, but I've got to aim for it. You know what I mean? It's like, now it doesn't work for me getting on a plane and going sitting on a beach, or getting on a plane and going traveling and just surfing all day. It's whatever. It's like that magical moment of just myself and just having this freedom. It's like, that's still possible in everyday to-day life. It's just, I just find it's like traveling, doing that. It's like the gateway drug to helping you grow. If you get what I mean, like, it's like,
I think every single person on earth needs to travel for a very long time.
Yeah.
Like, I would say skip school and just go travel, because it's the best teacher. Yeah. So I recommend it as much as possible. Just like, forget buying a car, forget getting your nails done, forget doing any of that stuff. You got to go. I mean, the amount of crazy stories you've heard by having this podcast, and it all stems from travel. Like, how are you going to experience any of that stuff being in the suburbs, or just following exactly what everybody else is doing around you? You're never going to blow your own mind. The world is never going to blow your mind. So it's always going to be, it's going to be contained in this already pre-existing structure that what's coming anyway. Whereas travel, you have no idea what's coming, and you have to, especially as a solo traveler, which I did majority of my travel solo, I had no idea what was coming the next day. I didn't know where I was sleeping the next night. Often, like, I would always just book 1 or 2 nights. Like, if I was departing Australia, I'd book 1 or 2 nights where I landed, and everything else was just intuition. I was like, fuck it, let's see what happens.
Yeah. And
you just allow life to take you on an adventure instead of you pre-planning anything.
Yeah. And
you're guided by the people you meet, and they have a trip. They're like, oh, you want to come? You're like, yeah, I want to come, and I don't have any plans. You save up a little bit of money before you go, and then do it again.
So after this first trip for you, did that just become an addiction? Like, as in, like, so did it start, because obviously YouTube's still 10 years away, or whatever for you, this life you've created from this.
Yeah.
So like, how did you start funding? What did your life become to travel?
Yeah, I was just a bartender as much as like that was my job. I didn't give a shit what I was doing for work.
Mm.
I didn't care. It was just make the money so I could go again.
Yeah.
I was sincerely worried for myself there for a while because I was like, I'm never going to want to stop. Like, I will always just want to travel.
Mm.
So, and I didn't know what life would look like for me being so addicted to travel because it's the best feeling it's the best feeling to, have no idea where the next few months are going to be and how they're going to look. No prediction, no routine, nothing like that. It's a nice expansive feeling. But yeah, no, I just worked as a bartender.
So you'd come back to Australia, do a few months, book a flight.
Yeah, I do like the first big trip was 9 months, and then every year after that I'd do like about 3 months. So I'd like work a little bit, bartending, and I studied as well. I did study business major in marketing. So I got my degree in that time. In the scheme of like in this span of, 7 years, I worked as a marketing manager as well for a couple of years for a company, learned a whole bunch of marketing skills, which really came in handy for my next, like how I made my big dollars, I guess, in the business.
But is any of this, like, other than the travel, fulfilling you? Like, at this time, are you picking up a camera? Are you having this feeling like there's something bigger, there's something greater?
Mm-hmm.
Like, because I can kind of just relate. Even the podcast for me, I've just always had this feeling there's something I need to, I don't know how to say it. It's like I'm here to help. Yeah. It's like there's something, cool. Yeah, for me, it's always been, it's like my journey's always been like the bigger thing is like I'm here to help people. Like I've got to, and whether if that's the case or not, I think me just having that like thought has helped me so much. It's like, no, like it's like I've got a mission here. Like the podcast, like it's the mission until I even found this and that fulfillment that came in. But like before that, it was like very unfulfilling, but then traveling is super fulfilling. And it was like so good to sacrifice. But I remember a friend said to me once, and I want to ask you this, is like when you were back studying and working in a bar, is like, how was that for motivation for you for the next trip? Yeah, so I was a photography intern at this time. I was I picked up a photography internship job. I somehow snuck my way in and pretended that I was an photography assistant after only having picked up the camera like a few times. It's wild. Like I think it's not really so much in the steps for me, but it's more how my life is just kind of it almost feels like it's been handed to me on a silver platter. Like I feel like that's kind of where it's more interesting, because like the steps that happen, they happen, but where the magic, I know that the universe is supporting me, and I've always felt that. So it's not, I'm picking up the camera, but I know that if I'm working at the bar, I'm not miserable because I know I'm going to be out of there. Like there's nothing about my life, and hardly ever that I've experienced where I'm like, oh, I just can't wait to get out of here. I know that it's part of the process, and I know it's the steps, and I have fun. Like I had the best time working at bars. It was so much fun just getting to know people, working late hours. I'm not a party. I'm not a drinker. That was my version of partying and drinking, was feeding people alcohol and just chatting to drunk people after they've worked and they're bitching about how much they hate their jobs. And I was like, well, I'm not there. I'm not working in that. And and the photography stuff, I randomly fell into it as well. Becoming a photography intern and a photography assistant, I had no expertise, but I was just I've been following weird hunches my whole life. So someone, I was interviewing a friend of mine, one of the early YouTube days, a part of my first business. It was called Pinup Passion, when I was just trying to work out social media. A random project. I was a massive tomboy, and I came across this topic of like pinup girls. And that was an untapped market. In like people were seeking like 1950s glamorous females, how to do your makeup that way. I have no expertise in that, but I built this big business in that space because there was no one doing it. And so
I was interviewing Sasha, and she has the best photography studio in Australia for pinup girls. Like, she transforms everyday women and just makes them feel beautiful. And I was interviewing her for my other business, and a hunch came over, and I was like, hey, this is random, but can I become your photography assistant? And she was like, I don't know why you said that, but I just had a thought recently that I need to get someone, and yes, I'd love for you to be that person. So I quit my job, which was like $80,000 a year, which was pretty freaking good. I was a marketing manager, and I just worked for free for a bunch of months for this chick because I just wanted to. And I got really, like, worked with her for 9 months and got my skills up. And at that same time, I just lied about my photography expertise as well to another company, and I became a photography assistant for them. And I, on the job, I remember just saying, they were like, hey, Sorelle, can you go get the flecky? I was like, yeah, no worries. I went around the corner, called my friend because there was no Google at the time. Mm-hmm. I was like, hey guys, what's a flecky? He's like, the reflector board. I was like, oh, thank you. So I went and grabbed this like silver thing that they use in photography, the reflector, and I brought it to the location, and they were like, okay, can you just stand there and reflect on the whatever prop there was? I was like, yeah, no worries. I stood there, and then this is wild to even think back on these days. I stood there, and this guy, a friend of mine, actually, I don't even know if it was a friend, just a guy working on set on this massive car commercial. I have no fucking idea what I'm doing. And this guy walks up to me, and he just moves my hand slightly so that I reflect exactly, with a look on the face of like, I know you don't know what you're doing, but I'm going to help you like get through this. And he was like a massive angel in that moment of helping to support me through me having no clue and just bluffing life. Like, I feel like I do that with a lot of things in life. Just fuck it, see what happens.
Well, I think you're quite fearless, because it's the only thing that limits us. When you said before, like, you feel your life is handed to you on a silver platter, but that actually is kind of, in a way, is impossible when you create your reality. Like, you're creating your reality. Like how you said before, you were never locked into being a bartender. Your whole energy field that you were in, it's like, hey, this is what I'm doing right now. I'm having as much fun with it, but I'm moving on. Yeah. And so you could still be there and show up, but you're open. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You're open. And so in the metaphysical, you're open to these opportunities. And then you don't have the fear about saying yes to them. Yeah. You actually go for it. You know what I mean? And that is how people move. You know what I mean? You make a decision and do it. You know, like, and you know, I'd say it's, you know, the older we get, for some reason, when it's young, we seem to just be like, yeah, whatever, because we don't need to worry too much, because we're young and we're healthy and we just know we've got the energy. But as we get older, it seems to get scarier and scarier somehow, but it's like we should be getting better at it.
That's a really good point, and I have been thinking about that lately. Even just recapping now, I'm like, man, I just said yes to everything. I didn't care if I knew what I was doing. I was like, I will figure this out. Yeah. But now I'm just so precious about things because I am fearful.
Well, you got a mortgage now? Like now, you know, you got properties or whatever?
I don't got no mortgage.
Okay, well, you know, we'll get into how you've done so well soon.
Debt-free, baby.
But I suppose there's more to lose.
I just feel like it's somewhere, but I would like to unravel this, because that is such a big fat lie, and somehow we become our own trap. It's not anybody else that's telling us, because if I had the mentality I did back in the day of like, I don't know, I'll just figure it out. Yeah, I'll do that because I want to, not because, oh, you know, it pays the bills, or it might not pay the bills, or it might be bad for my image, which now I suppose it is more to lose in a way.
You know, it's funny. Well, at the end of the day, we really got nothing to lose other than ourselves in that. But I was just thinking, like, that part, that's where the excitement is. You know, like how you're saying, oh, wow, and this angel came along and I was on this big car commercial, and it's just super, like, as scared as you are in that moment, it's just like, I used to have this thing that I used to say to myself when I would get super nervous. They chose me. Like, I'm here because someone asked me to do it or whatever. Everything's taken me to this moment. All I have to do is have as much fun with it as possible.
I love that.
And that was like this way to like come. I remember when I was doing the Porsche commercial down in Melbourne, and we were doing this one commercial we did. I had this girl that was like my wife in the commercial, and she was like super nervous and shaking, and I just pulled her aside and I said to her, "Hey, They've chosen us. Whatever the outcome, all we've got to do is just show up and have as much fun with it. You know what I mean? So we can just relax and shoot because they chose us. It's all on them. They want us to do it. So whatever, let's just have fun. And she was just like, oh my God, thank you so much. And I was like, yeah, we're here right now. Let's have as much fun with it as possible. And we actually did. We ended up having so much fun with it and we nailed it. But before that, with that energy, it's really hard when you're sitting in that fear. When we're younger, it's like we've just got less fear. We're just like, you know what? I don't know what I'm doing, but I know I'll figure it out. And if someone goes, what are you doing? You're like,
I don't know.
I don't know. Just tell me.
I'm young. I have no idea. Yeah.
Mm.
I like this. I want to get back more to that space.
Well, I think you and I are both working towards that right now, with this stage of our life, because, for me, it's partner and kids. And it's like, whoa, suddenly where am I now? Put the feet back on the ground. Let's keep moving back towards that freedom. It's just a story. It's like whatever you practice, you get good at. And before, you and I both, when we were young, we're just practicing letting go.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm also thinking about it because I still have that energy, but maybe it's just not as exciting anymore. I'm going to backtrack a little tiny bit, but even just buying the property here, I bought it within 5 days. Within 2 hours of seeing it. 5 days when I was like, I would like to have a piece of property. 5 days of looking, and then I find it, and 2 hours later, it's a handshake deal, and they hand us the keys straight away to the place. I didn't have any thought process of ooh, let me analyze. It's the same sort of energy of fuck it, see what happens. So I still have it, but maybe, less exciting because everything is possible, and I've proven to myself so many times of everything is possible.
That's why you got to become a mountaineer.
I need bigger challenges. I definitely need bigger challenges.
This is what I was just thinking about for me. You're like, oh yeah, that doesn't excite me as much anymore. Let's go to the next stage.
Yeah.
Next stage. I remember my mate in Iceland saying to me once, adventure is walking the line of everything that you already know on one side.
Yeah.
And on the other side's certain death, and you just walk the middle. He's like, that's mountaineering. You know what I mean? But if you back that off from death, what I'm saying in that is just fear. And when we're fearing, what are we actually fearing? Somewhere inside us, it thinks if we're going to do that, it's all going to turn to shit and we're going to die.
Yeah.
Our nervous system is actually going off. And so if you actually dumb back from the wording and actually think about the energy in that, it's like the line of adventure is just stepping out slightly out of the box of what you know is safe and what you do all the time, because then you're not actually moving.
Yeah.
And you don't want to jump too far where you're too overwhelmed and can't react and can't do anything, and it actually all does turn to shit. But you've got to go somewhere. You know what I mean? And so when I think about that, it's like the line of adventure is walking that line where it's like everything's safe on the left, and that's on one side, and that's no fun. It's all that you know. You don't learn anything new. You don't move anywhere. There's no adventure. There's no excitement. There's no freedom. And if you jump too far to the right, that's just being reckless. You know what I mean?
Also kind of fun at times.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
or self-sabotaging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think you hit the nail on the head. I think the older you get, maybe the more comfortable you become, or you're seeking more comfort. Because maybe there's a part of it that's you now become aware that death is real. I feel like when I was young, I had no idea I was going to die for a very long time. It didn't actually sink in. And I know that maybe sounds a bit stupid, but at one point I did a accidental DMT trip and it really highlighted death to me. And since then, death has been a constant companion in my life. But I think it's a little bit too present now, where I'm like, oh, things are going to kill you. And the comfort zone is expanded so that I don't put myself in the line of danger as much as I used to. There was no thought of danger back in the day. No one. The reason why my story of Iceland and living there for 8 years happened is because I got in a car at 2 a.m. with 3 guys that I didn't even know for 15 seconds. And it was just no consideration for anything at all that could have gone wrong. I was like, nothing's going to go wrong. Why would it go wrong? Now my brain is like, things can go wrong, So I think it's just the comfort zone and awareness of risk for me. That's what has stalled life a little bit, I think.
It's also just a natural progression of life.
Isn't
we can
it?
still use that energy, but we become a bit wiser in where to use our energy. You know what I mean? I saw a quote yesterday. It was like, what was it? It was like, to become wise, you had to be stupid once or something, or you
Yeah.
had to do stupid things to become wise, or
Yeah.
and it's like, I'm not saying that it's stupid or whatever, but it's like now it's like that is your 30s are moving into your 40s always becomes more grounding. If you think about life everywhere on the planets, the 20s is, you know, you're free and like have that energy and go, but you don't know where to put the energy. You don't know how to harness it.
Yeah.
It's like now I'm coming, like soon I'm going to be 40 in like a year, and I'm getting better at knowing where to use my energy, if that makes sense.
That does make a lot of
And
sense.
when I think about that, I'm like, I think that's just natural progression.
Yeah, you're right. And that's probably somehow in evolution for us to be able to help the 20-year-olds that are like, yeah, this is awesome. We're like, yeah, have fun. And then we can be the little slight, what's it? Like
The good angel on the shoulder.
Yeah, exactly. Because we've been there, we've done it. We're like, yes, have all the fun in the world. And we'll be here for when you need to cry.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I think this is the thing, speaking to any young person, is that it always works out if you allow it. When you're not jumping down and that side of the cliff, that's the self-sabotage. It's like when I just stuck to what I wanted to do, which was true within myself, and I don't mean like running away from your problems. People sometimes go, it's a whole different energy when you're like, you know, fuck this shit, I hate my boss, I hate my family, I'm going, fuck yous, and you just run away. That's never going to solve anything. But if you have like a yearn inside you that's like, hey, I want to go travel, so I'm going to use this, or I want to do this in life. And it's like, and if you can use that to move to your next stage, it's different from jumping down that, you know, and it's staying on that line of adventure. And but the thing is, it always works out when you do that, like it did for you. You're saying it's handed to you on a silver platter, but it isn't. It's in some way you're creating. And it's like me joining this off-grid community and living in the bush. Everyone was telling me I was an idiot. Everything I've ever done, I had mates and friends and loved ones telling me I'm an idiot. Well, what are you doing? You know what I mean? But it's like, this is what I want to do. And then it's the same people that now go, wow, you're so lucky. You know, and so what I'm saying to that young person that's traveling, it's like, yeah, we're entering a different energy field. We're literally, you know, this conversation right now, we're talking about, you know, just the contemplation of life or where we're at right now and figuring that out. And it's to the young 20-year-old that we want to travel. We're just saying, like, you stick to what's true inside you of who you are, that being that you are, and it's always going to work out. Because you were put here to have your experience of the human being you are. That's what you're here for, right? You're not here to do Joe Blow's experience. You're not here to do your mum's experience. You're not here to do your teachers or your dads or your uncles or someone who's told you this is how you got to do. You've got to do it your experience. And that experience, what's true to you, is different to the spiteful experience. It's different to the experience of like, my dad's telling me I got to go to uni, so fuck him, I'm going to do this. That's not the right energy. It's like, my dad's telling me to do this and I love him, but I understand that's what he wants for me because he loves me. But what do I truly want for myself? That's a whole different energy. And if you align with that energy, you can't go wrong because you're literally living the path that you got put here to live, and everything's going to fall in your lap because you're allowing yourself to do that. You're allowing yourself to go on the path. And I remember my mate said it to me once, the universe is constantly trying to give you everything you need. When you accept it, you're blessed. When you don't, you just make your life difficult. And if your life's difficult in any region, I can guarantee it's because of you. You know what I mean? Because of you not aligning with your true being of who you are by some story you might have on something. And that's where that, So anyway, travel.
But I also just want to say that sometimes being spiteful, and if that's the energy you need to get you out of a situation, like it's still going to work out. I know, I'm still going to say, if you don't know what you want to do, just go travel. Like, if you're 20, go travel. If you are mid-40s and you have a life crisis, go travel. Like, anything, just go travel.
The answer to all.
Everything, because it'll help you figure stuff out on the way. And hopefully you go and do some rugged travel, not just sitting in Airbnbs by yourself.
And being connected,
on the phones.
And
just sitting on your phone the whole time.
And the reason why that would be is because you suddenly give yourself time and place to connect with who you are. You know what I mean? So like, I get what you mean about running and traveling. It's like, because suddenly, especially if you aren't connected you suddenly, like how I was saying for me, my story was that once I got on that plane, I had no story. So suddenly it was just me and my being. So I could sit. And I've had conversations before, and I say, like, I'm not willing to do that because, someone's asked me to do something. I said, I'm not willing to because I fall out of integrity of who I am.
Epic.
And then they say to me, oh, how do you know, like, blah, blah. And I go, I know because I sat 6 months in that hammock and thought about that. You know what I mean? Or I sat on the top of that mountain that took me so long to get to, and all the struggle and everything I went to get through. And I had this epiphany of like who I am. And now it's so hard to move from that integrity.
Yeah, you can feel yourself more.
Yeah.
You can feel your insides, and when they're like, that doesn't make sense. And you've had to, through travel, you've had to rely on yourself. You've had to trust a lot. Yeah.
So we're wise. So
we're so wise.
Okay.
There was one other thing I wanted to say about that, though. the wisdom's pouring out. I was just going to say, with the life handing me, what would I say?
The
silver platter thing. I also think that includes the shitty times, though. I just wanted to put that out there because the shitty times always lead to exactly the lesson that you need. So I feel like life will always work out no matter what, because it has to, because the other alternative is death, like it will work out. So nothing bad can actually happen because it's there to teach you something. Yeah. And I mean, if you get the lesson sooner, then that's good because you won't go through so much shit. But there's lessons in everything, definitely including the bad times. I know, that's why it's so exciting sometimes when someone like loses their job or someone goes, oh, my girlfriend left me. And it's like, cool. I actually get so excited, but I'm trying to not be like, yes. I know, you're like, what are you going to do with your life? What do you where are you going to move? Okay, back to you, because I really want to get into how you created this life for yourself. Okay. So before we just started trying to figure out our own lives and where we are, and I hope that helped the listener somewhere, but this is the thing, like we are two humans navigating life, and we've had a lot of experiences, and we still don't know, we're trying to figure it out. But for you, like, so you're working on these big shoots, these big productions, you're kind of like fake it till you make it kind of experiences. Where is YouTube still a long way off, or where does hang on a second, there's a place here I could make money and move into? Oh, this was never about money, ever about money. But how did it move into it? So what was it about? The joy. I didn't know you could make money on YouTube. That's crazy. Back in the day, you couldn't. It was so not a thing. It was not a thing at all. But I was just, I am a marketer, and I'm glad that I did a marketing degree, because even though it felt a little useless, but then it landed me a job that helped me to understand marketing. And every single thing we do on earth is marketing. As humans in this weird society construct we have, everything we do is linked to marketing. Whether you're marketing yourself to a potential partner, to your kids, to be like, I'm a good dad. Like everything is marketing. It's weird. So I'm glad I did that marketing degree. But how did it move into making YouTube? As I said, for about 5 years, I was doing false starts, and I was making these comedy sketches, because back in the day, YouTube was kind of a comedy sketch place. Like you didn't know what you were doing on there. It was stupid. And there was the biggest YouTuber at the time, Jenna Marbles. She made comedy, and I was like, okay, well, I'll try comedy. I just wanted to, you know what? I'll just be honest. I wanted to be famous. Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, I'll be fucking straight up. That's what the feeling was at the time. I wanted to be important. And if I really dig into it, at school, I always just needed people to I wanted attention. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, because now I can say I don't want that anymore. But back in the day, I needed the external validation. So I was trying to seek anything that would make me stand out and be different. And yeah, during school, this makes me sound so bad, but during school, I got offended in the yearbook because they said the most likely person to succeed was somebody else, and they didn't say me. I got offended of that. I was like, I'll show you guys. And I think I just wanted to succeed and be recognized. So that was my fuel for a lot of my life, actually. For people to see, like, hey, give me recognition. I need your love. I needed people's love desperately. And yeah, we're all doing it, because it's funny. It's like when you hear someone say like the word successful, it's like, it's just ask yourself, what do we define as success?
And that's a really deep question for you. So like right now for you, it's like saying, I need to be successful in the manifestation of being famous.
Yeah.
You know,
It was not, maybe not
or
it was like
recognized.
recognized,
Yeah.
and acknowledged
For
being
others,
special.
it's monetary. It's like, I need to have the house on the hill.
Yeah.
I need to have this in my bank account. I need to have
The woman of my dreams, or the man of my dreams that looks like XYZ.
Exactly.
Or
So
the
it's
white
like,
picket
this is just how
fence.
it's manifesting for you. So thanks for your honesty.
Yeah, I want to be as honest as possible. This is fun. But it came about, 5 full starts on YouTube. I was just trying to be a chameleon, figure out what is popular and how I could get attention. None of it was working. And then I was working in the photography studio as an assistant, and I just all of a sudden was sitting there typing away, and I got a really deep hunch of like, oh, I got to move to Europe, and it just came out of nowhere. I'd never lived in Europe as an adult, and I was 25 at the time, I think. And I knew that if I hadn't gone then to move overseas to Europe, I would never have done that section of my life. I would have just found comfort in Australia and stayed and had a pretty normal life, and I was scared of that. I didn't want to have a normal story. So I bought a one-way ticket and cried for months before I actually departed, sold everything that I had, said goodbye to a job that I think it was the best job I ever had, being that photography assistant for Sasha. And I had a partnership at the time. The guy was like, "You're my twin flame." So I had to let that one go as well. And I was crying at the airport about to take off. And the curfew in Australia to take off in Sydney was 11 p.m. And after that, planes can't take off. For noise reasons. And it was like 10:30, we hadn't boarded the plane yet. 10:45, we hadn't boarded the plane. We're like, wait, we're not leaving, are we? And people were starting to get really antsy. And I said to myself, if I don't depart tonight, I'm going to take it as a sign from the universe and stay. So we get on the plane. They're like, quick, everybody, rush on. We're on the plane. It's 10:59. I was like, okay, we have 1 minute takeoff. And then 11 p.m. comes. We hadn't taken off. And then 11:01 comes. We didn't take off. 11:02, they just rush off and they take the plane goes off and takes off. And I was like, oh my gosh, we actually did it. And I'm
badasses.
And I was hoping so badly, like, don't take off. I want to stay. This is a mistake. I wanted to stay. I wanted the fear to win, but I didn't, because as soon as the plane took off, everything about, I stopped crying immediately, and I just had a smile on my face, and the fear that I thought it was fear, but it was excitement just in disguise. So I just felt this relief, and then the real adventure began. And I got to Amsterdam, stayed there for a week, and then next best thing and a bucket list item was to go to Iceland. So I booked the next part of the flight, because I don't pre-plan anything. I booked to Iceland, and within 3 days I was asking for jobs because I loved it so much, like this freaking weird alien place. I'm like, what is this place? And yeah, long story short, I ended up through magic again, because life is handing you magic if you are open to it. I got sent back, like I left for a little while, ended up staying on this farm back in Iceland for a month. It was going to be just a month. I feel like I'm robbing this story and not giving it credit.
Yeah, we've got time. There's Diaries of the Wild Ones. We have time to fully...
There's just so many stories. But with this one, within 3 days I was asking for jobs. It was way too expensive to stay there. I had saved up 20k Australian, and living in Iceland and wanting to go one-way ticket and living in Europe, I was like, 20k is not going to last me very long, so I need to get a job ASAP. And then there was only cleaners jobs, and I was a bit like egotistical still. I was like, I don't want to do that. So I flew out after 5 days. I land at the airport at 2 a.m. And my phone drowned in the hot springs in Iceland. So I was looking for internet on my phone, on my laptop. No phones, no buses, no Wi-Fi, no taxis, nothing. Everything had stopped, and I had no accommodation booked. I was like, I am screwed. What am I going to do? And these 3 guys walked past, and they were like, there's no internet here. Come with us. And I was like, okay. So I just closed
So
the
what
laptop.
country are you in right now?
I'm in Poland.
So you okay?
Yeah,
yeah.
I flew to Poland and got in the car. These guys just drove off to a hostel I booked myself in. One of the guys happened to be, lived in Iceland for ages. He was Polish, so he had connections. And I was like, I would love to go back. I don't know how. I can't afford it. It's super expensive there to be there. I don't know what to do, but I'd love to be there. And he put me in contact with a farm that were taking sometimes like pretty cheap rooms, and they agreed to take me for a month. And they weren't taking anybody else on at the time, but they agreed. They were like, yeah, okay, you can come and crash for a month. So 2 weeks later, my dad was dropping me off at the airport, a different airport in Poland. And he was like, don't get stuck in Iceland. Like, there's nothing for you there. I was like, Dad, I know, I'll be back in a month.
Yeah.
8 years later. And so of how I got onto YouTube. I was living in, I met my partner, that happened to be my partner for like 6.5 years when I was there, within 2 weeks of landing, I think. So it was really quick. And then I wanted to stay. I really wanted to stay. I didn't know what I was going to do. I was very lost and clueless, but this little voice was like, YouTube, YouTube, do YouTube. I was like, why would I do YouTube? That's stupid. I don't what's the point? There's no money in this. Okay, whatever. This is weird. So then I moved to this tiny little cabin, and I lived there for 3 months in the middle of nowhere. So there was nothing to do, nothing to do at all.
In what part of Iceland?
It was on the south coast, Hetla. Just
Yes.
outside of Hetla, yeah. So I was sitting, but it was like way deep into inland. So there's just literally nothing to do. It's one of those summer cabin areas where there's nothing to do. And I was there for a little while, and I started making, again, comedy videos for YouTube. And I don't know why. I just started making them. And then I got introduced to one of the most famous YouTubers, German YouTubers at the time, and she saw one of my videos, and I was interviewing horses.
In Iceland, yeah.
I was asking about their makeup routine and everything that they were doing with the horses, because I was so freaking bored. And she saw my videos, and we became really, really good friends. And she helped me a little bit to understand this world and get exposure to it and what it actually looks like. She had like 3 million Instagram followers and 2 million YouTube followers. But that was just, again, a small, tiny piece. She didn't help like grow my channel massively. She definitely helped to kickstart it. But yeah, I don't know. Just looking back through my life, there's just been so many angels that have popped up in the most bizarre forms. Like those 3 guys, no internet here, come with us. They're angels. Melina, the YouTuber, angel. Like my ex, angel. Like, they come up in different forms, and even though you might have really tough lessons with some of them, they're still an angel in a form, because they're giving you,
they're letting you go on the trajectory that you're here to go on.
Yeah.
So with this German girl coming in and kind of giving you a few pointers, and you're doing comedy videos, where did it turn to the travel nomad Sorelle? Where did that idea come from?
Yeah. Cool.
Like, where did the idea come from to, okay, this isn't working, to make money? Or like, where did your business mind come in for YouTube?
Yeah. The comedy thing was a protection. Like, because I was so nervous to make videos. So I started off with that, and then it still wasn't a business thing, but I remember I was in Cyprus at the time. It was a few months after I had left Australia, and after a few months of living in Iceland. I was visiting my dad, who now lives in Cyprus, and I had just learnt that you can get free travel if you. Some people on Instagram were getting free travel, and I didn't yet know that they were getting paid to travel because they had a following, and I was like, huh?
Yeah.
I don't get it. What do you mean? You get paid or you get free travels? And something just like so strongly lit up on me, because I wanted my life to be endless travel, and I did not know how that was going to happen. And as I said, like years ago when I was 18, I was like, the only goal I ever have for myself is to be able to work on a laptop so I can travel anywhere. And then I heard like these people are getting free travels, and I was like, this might be it. And the flame that lit up, I was psychotic in growing my audience. Like I was like, I am going to grow this audience no matter what it takes. And I had a vision even before I started YouTube of seeing like this 1 million plaque. And I was like, that's what I want. This is what I want. And I had no clue how I was going to get there. Before YouTube was even popular, I was like, I just want 1 million. It's going to happen. I had a hunch that it was going to happen, but I just didn't know.
It's a lot of people.
It is a lot of people, isn't it?
It's a lot of people.
Yeah, I can't even imagine 1 million people in a space.
Mm.
Yeah, you forget about it when you see it. You're like, just one. No, 1 million. It's like, oh, okay. Yeah, but then, so that ignited something in me, and I started creating content like a psychotic person. I did not stop creating content from that point for, I would say, 6 years.
In what realm? So like before it was the comedy or whatever, and now you're like, okay,
oh yes,
to build followers, like how, like what was the game plan to build followers? Like obviously make content so stuff gets out so people see it. Yeah,
so I was looking for what was doing well on YouTube at the time and what people were responding to best, and I would just follow that. Yeah, I don't think I was even authentic in anything that I was saying, but I was just like, what is working right now? What is getting attention? Back to the attention thing. I really wanted I wanted the views, I wanted the followers, I wanted the attention, because I wanted the free travel. And a big thing that came up, people, I remember Instagram had only had like 6 million hashtags for Iceland. I think now it's like in the billions probably, in the hashtag section. It was pretty untapped, and I started working with this guy that was really good at marketing and social media, and I just did this very short stint trying to help him out with some stuff. And yeah, he was like, Iceland content would do very, very well. We need someone to be promoting Iceland because this is going to be a big gem. And I didn't end up working with him very long, but I took that little nugget. I was like, okay, so if I make videos about Iceland, that might get attention. And I started making them, and surely it got attention. And then I was just trying to fill the gaps, because I was trying to release 2 videos every single week for years, and posting every single day on Instagram. Like professional, like high quality, what I thought was high quality in the day. And so I was just looking, I was just hungry for anything that might work. I was just releasing videos about anything, just to, just seeing what's trending. And then, I jumped on the bandwagon. Then the story gets a bit even. But
are you enjoying this? Because I was just thinking, when you're saying like this Iceland thing, I was like, fuck, I missed out. Like, I'm just thinking some of the stuff in Iceland that my eyes have laid on, you know what I mean? And documenting that, if I just had the will, or like, because I don't have fun on social media. Like, it's not fun for me. So that's why I'm asking you. Like, is it like social media fun for you? Remember when you took my phone the other day? You're like, I love this part.
Yeah.
Like, was it fun for you at the time to grow the following and make videos and make the content? Like, for me, it's like doing the conversation. I love it. Yeah. I love doing the interview with Diaries of the Wild Ones. The editing, the posting, everything. I just can't be bothered after that. I'm like, I've had my experience and I love it.
Yes. And that's where it gets pretty tricky, because up until that point, I loved it. There is something very, very addictive to watching the numbers grow fast. And there's something very addictive about swiping up on your stories and seeing how many people are watching, and seeing 50,000 to 75,000 to 100,000 people watching a story. You're like, wait, what? I am popular.
Did you?
So that's what fueled me. I was like, the growth and the intensity, it was intense. And I got joy from creating content and posting it. Now in the last few, and it sounds psychotic because it was, in the last probably 4 years, I find it's switched completely. It's the opposite. Now I want to experience life, and filming and social media gets in the way. I still realized the other day, I love to make brands look beautiful, and I love to give them like the right structure, because I am a marketer and I really enjoy beautifully presented things that are easy to use. So that's something I'm still taking forward, because I get a lot of excitement from like your brand. I'm like, oh, how do we present it right?
Yeah,
How do you
wearing the t-shirt.
Yeah, how do you market it right? How do you how do you get attention? Maybe that's just it. I kind of like
Bringing
the attention currency.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the trust currency, I guess. And maybe the last few years I've lost that because there was a lot of things that I went through that I felt like I could no longer be my authentic, open self, and the authenticity was lost. And I don't know if brands can grow that much without authenticity.
Okay, guys, so a quick ad break, and trust me, you're going to want to listen to this one to the end. So once again, a big thank you to Wild Earth Australia because, well, they're just an epic company, that's why. And it's like I'm a kid in a candy store whenever I go there or I'm on their website. They just stock the good gear. Anything in adventure, you name it, running, camping, hiking, climbing, they have you covered. So go to wildearth.com.au, that's wildearth.com.au, and stock up for your next adventure. Now, a big thank you to Butter Insurance. Now, I'm passionate about this because I can tell you story after story about why you need not just travel insurance, but a good one. So when I was about 18, I was in Bali with a few guys and we're all out partying, and we're out in front of the Bounty nightclub, which was the club back in the day. And one of the boys, just having fun, picked up one of the others and they tripped and fell headfirst into the gutter. Now, he had to go in for emergency brain surgery. Now, that mate only got travel insurance at the airport the day he was leaving from an argument with his mum forcing him to get it. Now, imagine if he didn't have travel insurance. So it saved his ass. So guys, just don't risk it. Get travel insurance and get a good one. Now, I'm stoked I found Butter because they make things straightforward and easy. So for your next adventure, go to butterinsurance.com.au and put in the 10% discount code WILD-ONES10. All one word, capital letters. That's WILD-ONES10. WILDONES10. Now, terms and conditions apply, and always consider and read the PDS and the TMD available at butterinsurance.com.au. Well, this is where the question that I want to ask you, because when you're saying, like you're just doing whatever is trending and you're getting addicted to these numbers, so you're doing an expression that isn't like your true expression. Do you felt like in that way, like, were you losing yourself?
Yeah.
I can just relate so much to my ex relationship because my ex partner did this. She suddenly just, this addiction came in, and she's like, and she became super successful, but I just couldn't go along with the ride.
Yeah.
And I remember saying to her, like, she started getting like super anxious one day about, we were about to go into Byron, and she's like, oh, you need to be wearing this, you need to be like this. Oh, and everything had to be posted at a certain time. We've got to stop because I've got to post exactly at this time.
Yeah.
And you need to look like this. And what do you do? And it was this, and I remember grabbing her one day and just being like, Lex, I've done this before. I don't want to do it again. She's like, what do you mean? I was like, trying to be the Mr. Cool Boy in year 10 and 11 at high school. I've been through it.
Yeah.
I don't care anymore. I just want to go in and enjoy myself. Because we were about to go into Byron. She was like, oh, changing what I wore like 3 times. And I was like, what are you doing, man? I just want to be me. And I felt my judgment on her was that she was losing herself because it became about likes or views or whatever, and that's her story, right? But now I'm asking you, because now you have developed like this huge business and this huge following, and now you do have the opportunity, and like you've always had to give the world your authentic self, and it's funny because it's like when I put that photo up with you the other day when you were helping me with Diaries of the Wild Ones, and I got a couple of messages about how much you've helped them. So even on your journey, whether if you felt you're being authentic or not, there's somewhere in there you're still helping people.
Yeah.
But I really want to ask you here, like, because we and the listeners, we see these big YouTubers, we see these big Instagrammers. What is it actually like in that world? Like, because you're saying like, you're getting addicted to these numbers, like, and it sounds like you're pulling yourself out of that to where you can use it all to everyone's bet, where everyone wins. That sounds like where you're saying you're heading or where you are now.
Yep.
But in this, 10 years ago, when these numbers are just flying at you and these likes and this validation and this attention, what is it like in that world? Like, is it everything you dreamed of that you wanted?
How do I want to give this question justice, because I did just say I think brands can't grow if they're not authentic. In the last 4 years, I feel like I've not been able to be authentic. But before that, I also felt maybe in the last 4 years there's been more of a desire and a need to be more private. So that doesn't really, it's really hard to be private as a YouTuber. Unless you have a certain strategy, which is something I'm learning now. But back in the day, my whole existence, there was no secrets. I had not a single secret. And that my audience, I would be completely transparent with them. And I will say, I thought I was being authentic. And I was also adding the layer of what was popular at the time. So for a YouTuber back in the day, the only popular YouTubers were the ones that were really loud on camera. That was the thing you did. So I became loud on camera because that's what you did. And so that became part of my brand or my personality. But is that me? I guess it kind of was. Like, I was pretty intense as a young kid. And I've calmed down a little bit now. But I'm not dismissing. I think I'm a little bit disappointed in parts of myself that I had acquired over that time because of different things that came at me and the little shields that I created for myself. So there's aspects that I wish I didn't become that person in those ways, but I did. But it's not dismissing myself completely, because I think I know I inspired a lot of people, and I don't want to take away from that, because there's the amount of lives that I know I've changed because people have reached out to me. They're like, you have helped me to walk a different path, to travel solo as a woman, to figure out my finances, to figure out the world's not so scary, to believe in myself. I even restored women's confidence and men's confidence through teaching them how to take a self-portrait, not a selfie, a self-portrait, because that became also part of my brand for a while there, of teaching people how to take the advanced selfie, which is self-portrait. So because it's been 10 years, I've had different influence on different aspects of people's lives, and I'm never going to take that away from myself. That's something that
has been huge.
It's been huge, but also thank God that I have done that. And I don't know how I got it's still wild to me that I have a platform.
I hear what you're saying. Like, when you're saying like in the authenticity, it's like what's trending isn't necessarily what you wanted to do as a video, but then in the same, the authenticity is you doing that your way. You know what I mean? Is that what I'm just saying? Like, you doing your version of what's trending. Is yes. So I followed the things that were interesting to me, like being a minimalist. I definitely followed that. I had and still do have a lot of passions, and I shared them a lot with people. And I was one of the early YouTubers, so I had the flexibility of not having to have a very strict, tiny little box. A lot of YouTubers now have to have a specific thing that they're known for, whereas I was pretty early. I could do whatever I wanted. And I will not take that for granted, because I don't know if you can do that these days. Like, I just feel like making videos about this now. I was like, that's what I did. And now I'm going to make videos about this now. Like, with my partner, because he's never been on social media, he doesn't understand this world very much. But like, I tell him even now, I'm like, I can make videos about anything I want. Like, I have a sponsor. I don't have to have a box, and I don't want to have a box, because I don't want people to think that I am something. Like, I don't want to box myself in. So it still is kind of hard for him to wrap his head around. We're like, we have to go travel in the troopy. I was like, no, we don't. I can just make videos about something else right now, because I can do whatever I want. That's wild. I often think about like the sailing channels. They've got to go sailing.
They have to do and I think about my friends in Iceland, and their growth has exploded on the channels that they've chosen, but they have to make content about Iceland, and that's it. And I am so glad I never took that stance, and I'm so glad that I've pivoted and changed constantly, because I crave freedom in my life. And if I had to stay in one spot to do content, and on that one specific thing, I'd go fucking insane. So I want to pivot. I want to change. So people don't like it, and I don't have the biggest growth that I could, but it's my life. I also don't want to just live for the algorithm.
Yeah, you've got to meet it somewhere. Is that, and that's what you're doing at that one stage of your life. I see it. Like you're living for the algorithm.
Yeah. But it was still not in a certain category. But yeah, I was still for.
Yeah.
I was deeply upset if I didn't get as many like likes or views. Like it hurt me to the core. It's hard to admit now. Now if I upload, and I have some of the worst views I've ever had in my life on my channel because 10 years, so I'm not fresh candy anymore. There's so many more YouTubers, and my videos have, I'm not gonna lie, been pretty average at times. I'm not putting as much effort into them.
But you still got some diamonds in there.
Yeah,
like
there was something else.
The trip you just did across Morocco.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Like, you know what I mean? That video is just insane.
Yeah, that trip was insane.
So in this life of you building YouTube, is money starting to come now? Like, is sponsors starting to come? Like, you're getting the addiction to it, but it's not just the likes are coming. Are you starting to get the opportunities starting to flow?
At the brink of me being broke, I had so little money and I didn't know how I was going to continue traveling. And I was making these videos and they were really shit, but I was still putting everything I had into it. It was pretty sad. I was pretty overwhelmed. And then my brother, he sends me a link to this competition the day before the competition closed, and it was called The Best Job on the Planet.
Yeah.
Not the best job in the world. That was 2008. This one
was
was
Ben Southall.
Yeah.
He got up on the reef.
Yeah. So this one was 2006. I forget what the year was. Anyway, one of those 2017, 2018. I forget. Anyway, 50,000 people applied. I think it was like 18,000 people applied properly because you had to follow some guidelines, but there was 50,000 emails sent to this company to travel the world for 3 months full time, traveling to 12 luxurious homes around the world and get paid $10,000 per month to do so, all expenses paid. That was the most money I'd ever even considered. I remember my goal was for so long was like $4,000 a month. Australian that I was trying to make online. I was like, if I can do that, I've won. And then it was like $10,000. I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. So I wiped off my tears because I had been crying all day, figuring out, like not knowing what the hell I'm doing, living in Iceland, kind of confused about life, running out of money. I put a video together. My eyes are still puffy, like an application video, 1 minute, put all my qualifications in.
What was it about? What was the video about?
Just why I'm suitable for the job. And earlier that year, I had listed like 12 countries that I wanted to travel to that year. And where the winner was going to travel in this competition, so many of them had matched my list that I convinced myself, like there was not a shadow in it of doubt that this job was made for me. Like I was certain this job was for me. And there was no one that was going to convince me otherwise. And that's the mentality I went in. I went in knowing I won. So I applied for everything. There was 3 stages. It went over like 3 months. I didn't sleep for 3 months because I was just working to try to get people to, like you had to get people to vote for you. It was a lot that happened. But yeah, I ended up winning, which was amazing. And then, yeah, I traveled for 3 months through these incredible countries. Producing 2 videos every single week, 1,500 photos I had to take, around 1,500 photos a week, writing 2 blog posts every single week, and traveling like 24 to 48 hours every week. So, and then sightseeing for 5 days when I got to this new location. So I didn't sleep for 3 months.
That sounds busy. Yeah.
It was hectic, but I did not care. This was
And you also documented on your social media, or is it all just to document on your social media with tags to them? It
was both. I was doing content for both at the same time. So it was a lot. I was keeping up with my socials and I was feeding them the content that they needed for their socials. And so yeah, that taught me. I didn't grow that much on Instagram from there yet. And I didn't have sponsorships or anything that much. I had just hit 100,000 subscribers just before I started traveling on that
On
job.
YouTube.
On YouTube, yeah. So yeah, I had 100K subs, and I think I grew by maybe 15,000 through this job, so it wasn't a lot. And yeah, I finished that job, and I somehow had, instead of $30,000, which I was meant to have, I ended up with $16,000 because somehow I spent that money, and I was like, shit, I have 16,000 US dollars, and I want to keep traveling forever. I don't know where this is gonna go. And then the heavens, I call them my ultimate guardian angel, Squarespace.
Oh.
Squarespace reached out, squarespace.com/Sorelle to get 10% off. I'm so grateful for them. They've been my sponsor for 6 years, but they came in and they were like, oh, we'd like to offer you $800 US per video for an insert. And I shat my pants because I was like, $800.
With a cap of how many videos, or you could
It was once a month, I think. They've been at my monthly. Now they've lifted it to 2 videos a month. A few years ago, they decided to lift it to 2 videos a month. A yearly contract straight away. The numbers are definitely not 800. It's very different to $800 per video. But that's where the monetization started, and the brand started reaching out. So yeah, Squarespace was the first one. And and then I just started getting a few more random small deals from companies, like reaching out and being like, oh, we'd like to sponsor you for like 2 videos, 3 videos. So I was producing 2 videos every week, no matter what, if there was a sponsorship, if there wasn't. So I just kept pumping out these videos. And also I have a marketing background. So I have a direct marketing response background. So it's a very specific type of marketing, which everybody does on social media now. It's basically getting people to make a decision as soon as possible, like buy something now. Excuse me. So that's still in the back pocket, but I'm still not I'm keeping an eye out for opportunities because I needed to make the money because I'm never ever going back to a normal life. Like that's my mentality at the time. So when I was traveling, doing the best job on the planet, I was taking my own photos at the time. So advanced selfies, I'd call them as a joke because it was kind of funny. I was taking my own photos, making them look as if someone else took the photo. So all these self-portraits in these beautiful locations because I wanted to showcase Third Home, the company that I won the competition through, in the best light because they're pretty luxurious and stuff. And I just kept getting questions from people about, oh, who was taking the photos and how'd you do that? And then one comment on one of the videos when I was explaining the self-portrait process, one comment on my video, how do you pose your hands in photography, in like in the photos or whatever, self-portraits? I was like, there's no way I'm making a YouTube video dedicated to how to pose your hands. And in that moment, I was like, okay, there's the demand.
Challenge accepted.
No, it was more like there's a demand for this. People want to know the tiny details. This is a course. So at the time, there was not that many people making digital courses at all. As a matter of fact, if you made a course as a YouTuber, you were a sellout. Like it was wrong because YouTubers are just friends. You're not here to make money. I was like, fuck that. I'm never going back to a normal life. I'm using my marketing background and my business background. I'm going to make the money. So I created a course on how to take the best self-portraits, and I called it the Advanced Selfie University. And that course, when I launched it, holy shitballs, the most amount of money I'd ever seen.
So it went viral? Like, would you say
my
this
audience,
is like...
they just liked it. They ate it up. It was like $49, I think, to buy it. There was like 30 videos. There was no one else doing courses. I was really good at selling because I wasn't really selling. I was like, hey guys, I just made this thing. I don't know where it's going to go. I hadn't had a concept of what I could make or if people would like it or if they wouldn't like it. I was just like, I've made this thing. Do you guys want to try it? Like, you asked some questions about self-portrait, so here's the whole thing. And people ate it up. So
when we talk about people ate it up, like what numbers are we talking here? Like, as in, like, how many people are watching these videos? How many people? So was this a subscription, or was it just you buy the course, you get the videos?
You buy the course and you get the videos. And it bought a couple of my first investment homes debt free.
Wow. So you made hundreds of thousands.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars. You're like, how much was it exactly?
Yeah, no, exactly. So what was the first step you did? Or
What was it? What step?
The first step.
First step.
Just write this down step by step. To make 2 properties, go viral.
No, it's not. It's selling courses. The amount of money. Firstly, I want to say the amount of money that there is available in the world is messed up. There is so much money in the world, and I've been saying this even before I made the money, especially after I started making the money. There is so much money available in the world, and people hate to hear that because there's a lot of people struggling right now because you're following the normal path, and there's no value on the normal path, because that is I hate to get this way for a second, but it's like a slave system. People in this system will not be rewarded because they need to stay in the system to fund and uphold the structure that we've created that is completely corrupt. So there's no way you can make a lot of money from following the system unless you're like a lawyer or a doctor, which lawyers, don't get me started. But like, you have to think outside the box, but you can tap into that well. And it's just, there's just so much. And it's like, I say that, and I've been repeating that, even though people have hated me for it. And they're like, why would you say that? That's not true. People are struggling. I'm like, because it does exist, and I've seen it, and I know you can tap in at any point, and there's people all over the world that will buy what you have, what you can present. If it's of value, there's just money floating around. And maybe the systems, maybe it's changed a little bit. I haven't tried to sell a course for years, and I don't know. But no, it's still working.
Yeah, I have to say it's definitely a mindset, because it's funny because I watched my ex-daughter, and her mum was an entrepreneur. So she just didn't fear it. She's just like, I'm just going to do this, going to do that. And I was like, how? And I just remember I was so scared. I was like, we can't do this. You can't do that. I remember she went and did a Pilates weekend course, and then was like, I'm going to be a Pilates instructor and start a Pilates studio and start this company. I was like, what? We can't do that. You've never done Pilates. And she just freaking killed it.
Yeah.
And another friend of mine who's an entrepreneur, Bonnie, she's always saying to me, Aaron, you've got to change your mindset around money. Mm-hmm. And I understand, for me, it is a mindset. It's a condition somewhere. You know, my parents were blue collar workers. You know, they're just, my mum was a teacher. Yeah. Dad, you know, they're just like, you just go to work. And this is even this thing for the podcast. I never monetized the podcast because I was like, I love doing it. Mm-hmm. I can't charge someone for something that I love doing. It's ripping, you know? And so, and my friends are always getting into me like, Aaron, you got to change your mindset around money. You can help the world. You can have fun. You can live off grid with nature and support the world with money. Yeah. If anything, you can actually be more of a help. That was, and I'm only just getting this now because it's a deep conditioning, and somewhere, you know, like through our school or just whatever. And now that we are getting in the wise years of our life, like I'm like a year off 40, I'm seeing friends in my age group suddenly start like you in the last like 6 years, suddenly just go boom, like people where they have gone into a fear or done an investment. And I remember a mate saying to me once, who's an entrepreneur, saying you don't make money working for people. Mm-hmm. You only make money investing. He's like, money working for people, that's your pocket money. Mm-hmm. You know? Yeah,
that's literally how I see it.
He's like, working's your pocket money, investments your money. And I'm like, and I just get too overwhelmed, and it's that fear, because I just don't know. I've never entered that world. For me, it's always been like a little bit of money and let's just go travel. I don't need much and I just want to do my thing. And I know there's somewhere in there where you can do it. I don't know how. And I'm just watching friends do it, and it's like, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think I want to talk about that because it does exist. And I was really fearful because I feel very, as I said, life has handed me life on a silver platter, but I don't hear a lot of people talking about it. I don't really work that much, basically at all. And I make a fucking ridiculous amount of money. And I feel bad for saying that, but I thought, wait, if I just share that with people now still, even though I'm not in the hustle, I'm not in the grind, I work so little, And I want to thank Squarespace so much, but like I'm now realizing that somehow I've allowed this possibility to exist in my life. And if I just share the story of like, yeah, it does exist. And a lot of people are just going to say you're privileged. That's just because of X, Y, Z. Fuck you. People hate when someone is living this kind of a life. And I really shrunk, but I was like, I want to also stand in this, that you can have a lot of money without having to break yourself for it. It's definitely a mindset. And now being with my partner who didn't grow up with this kind of mindset, I can see so much of the difference of like, I don't see limitations on money at all. Like if I wanted to make $500,000 tomorrow, I would find a way. Like if I was really, really dedicated, I could do it. There's no limit on my mind when it comes to money. It's everywhere. But then there's a lot of considerations for people. Otherwise they come in and they're like, oh, but you can't do that. How am I going to make it? I can't work for someone. I'm like, working for someone, that's not how you make money. Like that's not it. So, and I'm also at the stage now where I would say I worshipped money a lot. Like that was kind of my God, and I worked so much for it. And also I'm kind of grateful I hacked the material realm a little bit. And honestly, I will also say I'm open to the idea that was just because I am privileged and I landed in a position at the right time, at the right place. I'm not saying that.
But you landed it. This is where people get confused and they go, oh, you're privileged or whatever, like because you got this opportunity. The energy within you has to be somewhere to be open up to an opportunity.
Yeah.
This is the thing. It's like you can't just sit and wait for the opportunity to come to you. You've got to start somewhere, hustling or opening up, moving towards that energy field. Like I know that from traveling because I used to do these trips, and so it's a completely different energy field, but it's the same thing in the metaphysics of letting go and allowing the experience to come to you. And I've done all these trips where it was just like how you said, like a one-way ticket, or like I'm hitchhiking somewhere and I'm going for the next few months. And I have no plan, no nothing. And I used to do this meditation where I'd sit and meditate and allow myself to let go and allow myself. And I used to say, allow the experience to take me traveling. And I used to do that, and I used to go in and open my heart and just be like, whatever's meant to happen is meant to happen. Wherever I'm meant to be, whoever I'm meant to meet, it's all how it's supposed to be. Just let go of control, and it would all just fall in my lap.
Yeah.
You know, I can. It's funny because it's the same kind of mindset, but I can do it there or in the mountain, but I can't do it with money because it's.
Well, it's preconditioned. It's preconditioned.
Exactly. There's a fear there that I've got to.
It's a programming in your freaking mind from school, and especially if you're a blue collar worker or you come from a family of blue collar workers or something, it is 100% ingrained in your programming. Whereas my family, thank goodness, they were very entrepreneurial, so that wasn't a program I grew up with. So I didn't have to relearn that money's hard to make. Like I was like, it's not.
There's a guy staying here a couple of days ago. I won't say his name. Absolute legend, and I call him the only guy I ever know to make money on crypto. I call him the prodigy. I'm always saying, oh, you're the prodigy, because he sold. You know what I mean? He made 500,000 in one hit. He made 80 over this weekend. And I was like, oh my God, put it in. Sold 500,000. His mates are like, what are you doing? We're going, blah, blah. And he pulled out and they lost everything. And he's done that a couple of times, I think 3 or 4 times, where he's actually pulled out and made his money, and now he's got his house, he's got this nice car, he's living it, he's set himself up because he had a plan. And he was like, and it was actually funny when I was talking to him, he said because the first time ever he listened to everyone, they said don't pull out, and he went up to 300,000 and he was like, what the hell? And it dropped, and he said, I'm never doing that again. When it goes up, I'm selling. Cool. And so I call him, but anyway, I'm just saying, like, he was an everyday today dude, but he just, I don't know.
There's something about it. I don't know what it is yet. And I still do want to point out that I think everybody's got a level of privilege. And I don't want to deny that, because the fact that I was born in this day where YouTube is a thing, holy freaking shit. But I'm going to use this privilege. I'm not going to let it slide. And a lot of people use this privilege argument, like, you're privileged. No, we all are. You just have to everybody is to some degree. So we have to tap into that privilege, because freaking yes, how great that is for us to have that.
Well, whether if you believe that or not, just think about it this way. Whereas if you don't believe it, it means in a way there's somewhere within you that is saying, I can't do that. And
Yeah.
it's victim mentality. Or there's somewhere in you that, oh, not for me. Well, they had this opportunity, they had that, and that's just being a victim. It's like, I can't. And I'm like, okay, yeah, fair enough. There would be so many things that happen in your life that are hardship and stuff. But it's like, that mentality isn't going to move you anywhere.
That's true.
If you sit in this poor little me, I remember Alan Watts listening to, he's got this lecture, I think it actually is called Poor Little Me, and it's a big Buddhist philosophy about poor little me, about where it gets you in life and what it creates. If you sit in the energy of poor little me, I can't do this. Poor little me, this happened to me. Poor little me, you know, that happened to this person, but it doesn't happen to me. Where if you take a different mindset, you know what I mean? It's like, that's where you can actually create and start moving forward.
Yeah, it's true. It doesn't serve. That's a lot of, that's external judgments on people. I even remember, I think this is why I'm so careful with this. I don't even necessarily feel like I should give it energy, but 2021 or 2020, the amount of people turned on me, that was a pivotal moment in my career where I was like, I felt anger towards my audience because there was a lot of people going through COVID, whatever they're going through, and they turned on me and they just spat like so much of this privilege argument. And there was specifically one girl in the comments, and she was like, you're so privileged. And then I looked at a profile picture and I was like, you are a beautiful, young, red-headed white girl. So what's different between you and I? Like, you don't know exactly how I grew up. Like, yeah, so I feel I shouldn't even give it energy, but also with this whole thing, just reminding people of how incredibly powerful we are as beings, and we can move mountains. And that's what we've been told. That's what we are. They're doing everything possible for us to forget that, because we're not playing. This is not it. This is the physical reality is not it. You can move mountains in the metaphysical space. You can rewrite history. You can rewrite the past, the future, the present, everything just through your energy. It's like the energy is the most important, and the belief in yourself. So yeah, just in this, just reminding everybody we are way more powerful than you think.
Do you still read the comments?
Yeah, I do.
I was just thinking maybe don't do that.
That's what my partner says.
Because it really doesn't matter. It's like, the thing is wherever it's the positive, it's like it was meant to, it's, how do I say this? Like I said to you the other day when we were talking about this, and I said, I read the comments through Diaries of the Wild Ones, and I always get these beautiful messages, and I never get negative ones, because I'm thinking like, why would you, who's going to take the time to, anyway, I got this one time, I got this negative comment, and it was, a rating, and it said, he says like too many times, and it was like an angry, like fuck, like it was just, and I just started laughing so much, and I was thinking, what an idiot. My podcasts are all 2 hours plus, and this guy sat through 2 hours of something he didn't enjoy, something that wasn't for him. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, this has got nothing to do with me.
Yeah, where else does he do that in life?
I'm sitting here just like putting out who I am and my expression, just to help whoever needs to hear that, because it's somewhere in there, someone's going to relate, just like your story. And this is just the platform. This is just a platform to get that message across. Because all I see is, so the core message behind Diaries of the Wild Ones is to help inspire to live the incredible lives, people to live the incredible lives they'll put here for, right? And all I've figured out just by you telling your story, like with money, is you're saying, hey, like we have limitations, and the limitations we put on ourselves, right? Our life is only an expression of what we're limited by. We're limited, like, what's that Ben Howard lyric? I always say it. It's like, we live in the confines of our own fear, right? And when you tell someone's adventure story or someone's life story or someone's story about making money, all it is doing is saying, well, it's like, what's inspiration? It's like someone saying, I went and did something and I'm okay. And that's why it's inspiring. That's what inspiration is. That's what inspiring people is. It's just saying, hey, you can do it and it's all okay. You know? So it's, Rivy's back, the kangaroo. So that's all inspiration is. Like, what's an influencer? I think that's a little bit, I don't know, maybe it's different from inspiring.
Influencer and inspiring is not the same thing.
Yeah.
The influencer has been tainted, and I hate that word so much, because now it's about selling brands. They hijacked it, and I hate it. No, wrong. Influence is influence, not what you're wearing and what sponsorship is coming. No.
And you have this amazing opportunity to be that, like it's like
To
for,
be an
for me,
influence.
like I didn't go on social media hardly for the last couple of years because I was like, it's all AI. It's just this and everything. And then it's like, hang on a second. It actually doesn't matter. It's just my story. My story is that I've got a mission here, and that's what fulfills me and my being. And that is to get inspired by other people so I stay true to myself and also help other people do that as well. You know what I mean? And so it's bigger than that. In the big picture is like you have this 500 something thousand on Instagram and 1 million and something on YouTube. It's like, you can be an inspirational influencer. You know what I mean? It's like you can... and it's like those negative comments, you just don't need to look at, because it's always going to have that. What's that saying? It's like you're always going to have people clapping at your ankles or people trying to pull you down.
Yes.
As soon as you move out, and we saw that in COVID, everyone turned on everyone. And I always think about like when I interviewed Dave Rastovich, who's a famous surfer and activist. And I said, how do you be an activist? And he said, by understanding nobody's wrong. And I think about activism with a lot of what we see. And when I think about like in COVID, it was like everyone was playing the energy that you were wrong. Yeah. That person's wrong. Like when you're saying you were privileged, it's like someone's saying you're wrong. You're not. You know what I mean? It's just like us trying to put each other in boxes or take each other's sides. Yeah. To actually have love and to actually make change, there is no side. It's understanding,
That's just such an easy opt-out for people. But I just want to also give credit, because by you being so inspired by your mission again, it's reminding me of what I did, because somewhere along the line I've lost that inspiration in myself. I forgot what all of this was for, and I forgot that I had something to share. And by you being like, no, my voice matters and what I have to say matters, it's like reigniting me, being like, oh, wait, I can link back to what I actually still believe in. Because I have been scared to say and be certain things in the last few years on the internet because of the labels and the negativity. And it's only recently that I'm coming back and realizing, like, I ain't helping anybody in that mentality of being like, I'm scared. Ooh, fuck off, Sorelle. Shut up. Like, step up a bit. Stop being such a pansy.
Scared of that redhead.
Yeah. But also, you don't. There's no need to be. You don't have to have power over. You can just be powerful as a being, because that's what we are meant to be. We are all powerful. Every single one of us, no matter what's happened to us, no matter what we've gone through, every single one of us is going to get hit with an iron club across their head multiple times in life. That is part of our story. Freak yes, because how boring if everything went really well in your life. There's no lessons in that. There are no lessons in everything going well. Then just coming back and realizing, your story does matter.
No, it does. The thing is, like how you're saying, every person's story matters because everyone is a human being. Everyone's the exact same. They all chose to have a human experience. They all came here for that. And whatever experience it is, it's like when someone goes, like, I don't know, like, I hate myself, or I hate my body. It's like, why? Because in somewhere in you're telling the universe. Rio said it to me this way one time, the enlightened elder. He said, for you to not like accept who you are and love who you are and like express your authentic self, you're literally telling the whole of existence that it fucked up. And he goes to me, and you've got a small little brain compared to the whole of existence. So he goes, I think it might be a misunderstanding on your behalf. So if you ever think you're not good enough, it's literally just a misunderstanding. Yeah. You know what I mean? And this is, and it's a hard thing because like I had the experience when I started the podcast. I was like, I want to do this. And I had mates just write me off. Standing in front of the camera sometimes, you're like, what am I doing? Who am I to tell someone how to be? And you're like, hang on a second. It's the bigger picture here. What is this? What is this for? It's not about that person that's going to hate on me because it's not for him. Yeah. It's about that one person that goes, fuck, thank you. I just quit my job and bought a yacht. So that's been my dream. Yeah. It's like, that's what it's for. It's not for the guy who's hating because he's going to hate on anything. Yeah. That person's going to hate on whatever they can hate. You know what I mean? Because that's the energy field they're in. Yeah. Somewhere within there, and like within someone might do something else that might inspire them to help them come out of it. Yeah. But we're here to help anyone who needs to hear it. Yeah. Okay. So I really want to ask you, what's the, like you said this, So the self-portrait was the one that blew up for you,
That was the first
the
one.
course.
Yeah, that was the
So
first one.
after that, what's the viral videos that happened for you? Like, what's the ones that just went viral?
Oh, this is funny to even think about because no one could pay me to do these videos anymore. But it was the biggest one on my YouTube channel. How to pose
Ooh.
in photos. You've had
so-
so many epic guests like climbing Mount XYZ, and I'm like, how to pose in photos.
Yeah, but this is a business woman. You're like, well, yeah. I was like, I've done these cool travel videos, but also I made money by doing like seeing a market.
Yeah,
The market was like how to pose. Like
that
so-
one is just that happened to just be the biggest video, and there was not many people talking about it at the time, so that one blew up. Yeah, that's my biggest
And
video.
when a video blows up like that on YouTube, like let's say, like how many views?
I think it's like maybe 8 million or something. So in comparison to today, nothing that I have on my channel is good in comparison to today. Because you can get, like even one of my Instagram reels that I took 2 seconds to put together, literally has 26 million views. So it doesn't like it. Everything is magnified now. But back in the day, that was freaking if you hit 1 million views on any videos, it was massive. But now the audience size is so much bigger. There's niches and everything. So
how much would you get paid?
YouTube doesn't. I've never really gotten paid from YouTube itself. Like I get peanuts from those guys.
So like if you get 8 million views,
Doesn't matter. I mean, I got a little bit, but it was such a. It's embarrassing how small of an amount I get paid from YouTube through ad watches and AdSense or whatever. Yeah, that's never been my focus. So I'm not waiting for a platform to pay me. And to be fair, back in the day, I used to say, I'm not waiting for a brand to pay me, but now I only have Squarespace. That's it. I don't sell anything else. But back in the day, it was like, this is my business. This is a business now. Like I was already in the business brain. I'm not waiting for someone to pay me. A lot of the YouTubers, they were like, I'll just wait for a brand to sponsor me. I was like, wait for a brand to sponsor you? Fuck no. I was creating. I decided I am a person. I am a brand. I'm going to create my own products that no one can take away from me. No one dictates how much money I can make. I can make an untapped amount of money because it's up to me and my marketing skills. That's it. It was full responsibility. Like if I'm not making enough money, that's my fault. That's it. So what am I going to do about how much do I want to make? Reverse engineer it, figure out a way, see what people are wanting. So as the virality thing, it doesn't matter if you're going viral. Even when I was growing on YouTube, there was one guy and he had like 30,000 YouTube subscribers. He was making hundreds of thousands of dollars every month from selling his own product. It was a very niche category. And
he was selling it through his videos on YouTube.
Through his videos, because his followers were just super dedicated and it was exactly what they needed. So he just found a niche. You don't need millions of followers. Actually, as a matter of fact, I think millions of followers is a hindrance to lots of people because you're too broad sometimes and people might not relate to you as much when you're bigger. You can make so much money when you're smaller and you're more relatable, and not that makes me sound cocky in some way. But yeah, don't put a limit. Like I have to have 1 million subscribers or I have to have viral videos or whatever. That's not, it did help me. I will say that. But if I look at the percentage of people that converted and bought any of my courses, it's minor. It's like, it's such a small conversion rate. Like it's a really bad business strategy. But yeah.
I think that's what, even with the followers of Diaries of the Wild Ones, I've been thinking about this because Wild Earth has always done well from them. And when I did Get Well Soon Australia, the CBD, he always did really, really well. And I was like, because it is such a niche, it's like people like me wanting, they're wanting to travel, wanting good gear.
Yeah.
And now I've got Butter Insurance and I only put an ad up on the last episode and they got 3 sales in the first week and they went, what? We haven't had any marketers do this. And I was like, yeah, but the people that are listening to the podcast are travelers.
Yeah.
That are going on adventures and we all need insurance.
And they trust you. That's the thing. This is where people get like trust it. Trust currency is the most important currency. This has turned into a business podcast.
Well, that's why you got to align also with a business you agree with. Like Wild Earth is like,
besties.
They're like, well, no, they're just like, I'm just going to sell good gear.
Yeah.
They just sell good gear and it's adventure gear. And you're like, okay, sick. That's like a kid in a candy store.
Yeah.
butter insurance. People like everyone needs insurance.
Yeah, Squarespace, freaking websites. Like, it's not like I'm promoting, I'm not a consumeristic person. I feel super aligned with this brand because it's like it's not forcing anyone to, I don't know, consume things or. Yeah, it's great. It's a platform for people to build their own businesses.
So with all your like adventure videos, like your travel videos, the travel side of things.
Yeah.
So everything, all that travel self-funded, that you get your money through your sponsors.
Yeah.
So has any of it been like how do I say this? Like, do you get invited on trips and you're like, oh, okay, I'll go do that by companies? Because that's what's happened with me a couple of times. I've just got an experience. Hey, do you want to come on this trip? And, you know, or for you, is it just like, hey, I want to go to Morocco. I want to go to Turkey. You know how I always tell you about that video that you have is it the Sahara or Turkish desert or something? Where's that? And I say, it's just amazing filming. Like, were you just like, I just want to go to the sand dunes in the Middle East or wherever that's the...
Oh, Socotra.
Socotra, where's that?
Yeah, that's just off the coast of Yemen.
Off Yemen.
Yeah. So I went with a buddy of mine. He's a really good filmmaker. And they just invited us. I think they paid for the trip.
Like, was that for a brand or anything?
No, that was for Socotra itself. Like, it was for a tourism provider in the kangaroo's coming back. Oh my God. Hey, buddy. A tourism company in Socotra, and they invited us out. And I just said, you have to pay for the flights. And I think that obviously the tour was covered. So I didn't get paid for that one, but it was a wicked experience. I got invited to go to Greenland. They paid for the flights as well. That was just the best experience. It was these luxurious tents, sleeping right next to like flipping icebergs and stuff. Like, it was just wild and just incredible. Didn't get paid for that, but I'll take, this is the joy of Squarespace. Because I can do whatever I want, and it's funded. Like, my life is funded to do whatever I desire. Like, I wanted to build out a troopy and travel around Australia, so I did that because I have a sponsor and they pay for my life. Like, it just happens to be enough to pay for everything. And then if someone invites me on a trip, I'll go even if it's free. Whereas a lot of people, like, let's say YouTubers, they won't do anything for free because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work working for tourism boards. They demand a lot, and it's a lot of work.
What's through this whole Sorelle's YouTube channel?
Yeah.
What's the most amazing experience or couple that you've had?
I have to give credit to the latest adventure that I had. And it was something I didn't even know existed in the universe. Mercedes-Benz G-Class invited me to go experience one of their 5-day desert expeditions. And their clientele is obviously very rich. And it was the wildest thing that my brain still can't comprehend happened. Yeah.
Take us through it.
Okay, so I'm not necessarily like a luxurious person. I like, sort of semi, maybe a little bit, but I get invited to go and experience this. I didn't even know what we were doing until we arrived to Morocco.
Like, it wasn't something you applied for that you knew was happening.
No, they reached out via DM, just like randomly, like, hey, do you want to go to Morocco? Well, these are the dates. I was
and you thinking this is real?
Yeah. No, I didn't. I actually.
When you have this many followers, like, how does, like, do you see everything? When people, because I don't even, like, I've got only 7,000, and if I put something up and I get a whole heap of message, I don't see them.
Yeah, and just say popular. No, I don't post very much on Instagram anymore. Like, the last 4 years, I haven't really posted that much. So yeah, that means that there's not that much interaction. And I saw it pop up first from one of the guys messaged me, not Mercedes-Benz, and I read it and I was like, bullshit. So I didn't reply for 4 days, and then they messaged from the Mercedes-Benz G-Class account and they were like, hey, would you like to come to Morocco? I was like, oh, it's real. And then we negotiated the price and they paid me, and I was like, you guys are going to pay me for something? So the trip was, and I had no idea what the itinerary was. I landed in Morocco and they hadn't quite explained to me what was going on. A lot of the time, big companies, they're kind of tricky to work with because they give you stuff last minute. Like, I'm doing a job with YouTube in the next 3 days and I still don't know what it is. for example, that we're having a meeting tomorrow morning. Back to Morocco. I land in Morocco. The first night is staying in one of the third most famous hotel in all of Africa. Like it was, it's like, I think it's $15,000 a night to stay there or something. Yeah, it's like royalties have stayed there. Every single royalty you can think of has stayed there. And me. So I'm already a fish out of the water. So I'm feeling very displaced and very awkward, but I'm pretending that this is where I fit in. And and then the next morning we wake up and we have 15 G-Class cars lined up outside of the hotel. Wait. Oh, intermission, kangaroo. It's just got my microphone.
Rivy.
This is what matters most. I will just say, having that experience is almost on par with all of these wild stories, but
that can be a reel right there. Cut that. Kangaroo stole the microphone. So these 15 G classes rock up out the front.
Yeah, we got these G classes, and one of them, like three of them, are the ones that are no longer. They were only running for a couple of years, so they're $500,000 each. That's just 3 of the cars, and there's 15 other cars worth about $300,000 to $500,000 each. They assign there's couples, like people that go in twos. So I get the biggest car, the most expensive car, to drive outside of Marrakesh into the hills. So basically for the next 3 days, we're driving 8 hours a day, intense speeds, intense distances, and experiencing what it's like to just drive through remote places in Morocco in the most expensive cars, one of the most expensive cars and most capable cars in the world, to be honest. It's freaking such a powerful car. So we're speeding everywhere, just going to places like where they filmed James Bond. It was just like luxurious lunches everywhere we went. Everything was just really fancy for standards. Like Morocco, I guess, going into the remote areas, it wasn't, the best hotel, and they don't have that many beautiful, like stunning, exquisite hotels everywhere, but we still got treated world class.
And when you say speeding, but like, is there speed limits? Are you on general roads, or how's?
I'm not even sure if I'm allowed to say this, but they had people go up ahead, and we all had radios, and they would radio back to the cohorts, like the little groups, and say, "There's no police, like just go for it," and we would book it, like fast.
Yeah.
There was moments of awkwardness, I won't lie, like going through really, really poor villages in these really expensive cars felt very uncomfortable in some ways. But I was focusing on the experience as well.
Super James Bond.
I was getting like back massages from my fancy seat whilst driving at 190 kilometers an hour. And then on the final night, or one of the second last night, we rock up and we're staying at the closest Sahara Desert camp to the sand dunes. And we get there, we're like, everybody just drop your bags, drop everything you got. And then like, we're going up the sand dunes. And I was like, oh, what do you mean sand dunes? They're like, in the cars. I was like, I'm sorry. We're getting in the car to go to the tallest sand dune in Morocco in a G-Class. I don't understand what you're trying to say. So we get into these cars, and then the precision drivers, they're extremely talented Mercedes-Benz guys. And they book it it happened so fast. Without any drama, any problem at all, we got to the tallest sand dunes in all of Morocco, overlooking the entire Sahara Desert in these, I can't even, it didn't make sense, with the sunset, the most beautiful, stunning views. It was just a shock to my brain. And then to finish off all of this madness that was just happening, honestly feeling like I was treated like royalty at the same time as trying to film, because there was 15 other participants, or even maybe 20 or something. I'm trying to make a video out of all of this, and we're speeding and we're going like 8 hours a day driving. It's really hard to make like content out of this, but I was like trying whatever I could.
And so they want you to make content to sell this to clientele.
Yeah.
Like that this is a trip you can do.
Yeah, so to their clientele, this is something that they offer, to anyone really. If you have 15,000 euros per ticket, so like 30,000 Australian dollars per ticket for 5 days, and the people there were like, oh, it's a great price, so we decided to come. It's a nice little holiday. I was like, oh, okay, we're in a different realm here. That's a great price. Okay, that's a great price. So that's what I'm saying. There's so much money in the world. Like these guys that were coming there, they had 50 cars, 50 very expensive cars in their sheds. Like there's just so much money. The final day of this whole expedition, we get flown in a private jet back to the most luxurious hotel, like the third most luxurious hotel in Africa. So that was the experience. Just like we drove all the cars and we parked them up at the airport in a private departure lounge. We jump onto the to the private jets and they fly us back, and then we have dinner at the most famous African restaurant. And I know it's not.
It's mind blowing, because think about how many people have stood on that part of that sand dune or seen that view. How many people have like driven a G class across Morocco?
That's
how many people have even stayed in that hotel?
Yeah, that
it's
driving
like
a G class across Morocco, there's probably been like less than 50, like less than 20 maybe. No. So I know that I'm just like, we spoke about me coming onto the podcast, and I was like, I don't know if I'm right for this, because your stories are so wild of people, having no money and traveling for 6 months and just being part of a gypsy band. And I find that so inspiring. And this is like the polar opposite end of things. So I don't have some grueling, like, oh, my life was on the line story.
No, you're just freaking getting these amazing, incredible experiences. There's something for me that gets such a kick out, and it might be my ego, but I get such a kick out of doing things that not many people get to experience. I don't know what it is. It's like climbing the top of that mountain. It's like when Steve Worley and I just went into that farm in Iceland and just asked the guys, can we just go climb these mountains up behind your farm? They're like, no one's ever been up there. And we're like, oh, what?
Perfect.
They're like, we don't know of anyone. They're 5th generation farmers there, and then their family was around. Just whatever. They're like, no one's ever been up there. And for us to get up the top of these things and just have a look around, just stand there, you're like, even if someone has, it's not known of, or it might be a few handful.
Yeah.
Might be. It's just like to experience these things that not many people get to experience. There's something so special about it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I definitely agree.
So
and just to give context, I also live right now in an off-grid shed that doesn't have walls, and
yeah,
we don't even have a toilet. So that's not my everyday. That's why I'm saying that's the wildest, most intense story, because I've never
in contrast. Like if you were staying at that hotel and you're telling them, hey, this is where I live, this is the bucket, I go to the toilet.
I had to pretend that was me. I was trying to be posh. I was like, if only they knew.
Yeah. I was actually thinking about that, because you have, done so well successfully with money, and you've got these investment properties, and you've got the property, you've bought here, and you've got this car, like this done up troop carrier that's just every time it drives over, everyone was like, it's like, whoa, look at this thing. But, when we were up at, Yamba the other week, you're just camping in your van, you're camping right next to me on the rock wall with your partner, and we're just hanging out and still living pretty raw.
Yeah. And
it is really cool to see you still just be so, I don't know, real in that way.
Well, I think these are my favorite stories, and this is my favorite. I think the last few years I had an ego for a while there. I thought I was pretty hot shit for a minute, and then I got dumped by the universe, which what I was saying earlier. Like, I think even the bad things is life handing you something on a silver platter, because I did not like myself for a while. I had an ego, and I've become really normal now, and I like it. There's a little bit of discomfort in it, and I'm like, oh, I just have a really shitty old, I love my van. I have this little shitty van. I live off grid, don't even have a toilet. I don't feel like there's anything really special about me. I feel like now it's almost the polar opposite. I have to remember my power. So that's what I'm working on now. But I have the best fun ever sleeping in my little tiny van that's got 250,000 kilometers on it, and secondhand, and I am just in love.
That's kind of,
and I'm a tight ass.
That's what I love about this town, about Crescent. It's like when I was around Byron, I definitely had some layers of like, you know, like, who are you and where you're from kind of things. Like when you're in America, it's just like, so what do you do?
Yeah.
What do you mean? I'm like trying to know, what do you do? Yeah, like, I don't know, being a little bit judgmental.
Yeah, no,
it's just, you know
that is something that I'm also, this is what I wanted to say way back was, I'm starting to try to take off, I'm really focusing lately on taking off the mask of because living off grid, it kind of forces you to not, you can't really be somebody living off grid. You're not striving to be somebody. And with money, I'm actually trying to untrain my brain to see that I don't need money, and that it's not a savior and it's not a god, and you actually can do way more without money. That's not a topic of conversation that I've had in my life very much. It's always about need more, need more, need more. But my brother, he smashes life and he lives the most extravagant life by not even having that much money. So it's like, it's not a limitation. I've just used it, I think, too much as a crutch to help me do certain things.
Yeah.
But having to think outside the box to have an extraordinary life without money is also a big thing. So I'm untraining my brain now to see the need for being somebody, or consumerism, or having more. So I'm in a completely different life stage there as well. Yeah,
I was just thinking Crescent as well. Around here, it's like, hey, what do you do? I'm a YouTuber or something. Just like, hey, I'm a YouTuber. And you're like, cool, are we going surfing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like, oh yeah, cool. We going surfing.
Yeah, no one gives a shit.
Yeah.
The best.
I just love it.
Yeah.
So what is next for Sorelle? Because you obviously are still creating, and you're coming more into this next stage of life of who you are, and of who you are now, and what you're going into next. So what does that look like for you? Or what can the YouTubers, like the viewers, expect from your channel now?
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I will be honest in saying that I am looking for ways out of YouTube, probably. So it's not, because it's not my love and my passion at the moment. And if I can find a way where it nourishes my soul through being able to, there's a really deep desire again to help people. It became a bit self-absorbed there for a while. Like, what could I get out of it for myself? But now, how can I, be of actual service to people through a platform? And it's like not taking up space because I already have a platform, but I'm trying to make myself get to a point where I kind of deserve to have a platform. So what's next? I think, I don't really know, but I'm hoping through this last few years of trying to discover more of my authenticity and rid of a bunch of baggage that I've been carrying for a bunch of years, which was a lot of stories that held me back in many ways, that somehow I'll be able to do more, I'd say, physical events. I love in-person stuff. Yeah, the online space doesn't feed my soul. And I was also thinking about it with how the world's going. I know that this is a kind of weird one. I don't know if I'll want to participate in I don't know if I'll want to have a platform with the kind of possible restrictions that are coming either. I know that's a bit of a heavy thing to say, but...
Or you could be the light in that.
Yeah. I don't know. So I'm just preparing that YouTube might not forever be a thing. And that's okay. Like 10 years of doing this job, like that's a long time, man. I've really squeezed it for everything it's got. I really have. I don't want to talk about myself. I am excited once again to do, like, focusing on the free human aspect. Like, that's still, I've spent the last 4 years thinking deeply about freedom and what it means. And back in the day, I thought it was like, if you have multiple passports, and if you pay little tax, and if you travel all the time, that's you're a free human. There is so many more layers to it. So, and I've concluded that freedom just basically looks different for every single person. I was like, oh, cool. And it's very much an internal game. So instead of me thinking that I need to have the answers, what I can do and what I love doing is interviewing people that are living unique lives, kind of like you, but they don't need to be like the craziest wild adventurers. They're just people that are like, I didn't want to do the 9 to 5, so this is the way I figured it out.
Yeah.
So yeah, I am one really enjoying living in the real world. So that's been very fun. So that's why I don't know if YouTube will be forever. Also, there's a detachment from YouTube because it used to be all about Sorelle, and I don't want to do that anymore. So, but I still desire and crave to build beautiful brands that matter. And I still have this concept of free human in my brain that hasn't left the building, and it's still there. And I think just collectively exploring with people, what is freedom? Like, that's a really interesting story, because that's, if I think about it, that's what really inspired, like, that's how I was able to inspire people, was by showing them a different way. So if we can just expose people to as many versions of freedom as possible, then they'll choose a version that suits them, and they get to live the extraordinary life that we are all here to live.
I think you'll find, if I'm just assuming that if you go down that, really go into the free human, that it's going to inspire you just as much as it inspires other people, just like Diaries of the Wild Ones does for me.
Yeah.
You know, it just helps me, just these stories of just people. It's the same thing. It's just every story manifests in different ways, but it's still the same thing. It's like someone went into their fear, you know, to feed their soul. And it's like, wow. And so maybe they did it that way. This guy did it this way. But it's like, you know, so you can take a bit from there, you can take a bit from there. But it's like, my life is so much better when I live in the world of endless possibilities, because I can't control it. It's not, and when I get in arguments with Shelby or get pissed off at someone or this or that, it's just where I'm trying to control something. It was so much easier when I was by myself, like when you're by yourself and traveling, because you know you can't control. Some reason now it's like, learning to do it in a relationship, learning to do it as a father. Yeah. You know? Yeah. But sharing that journey is like, how many fathers are out there? You know, and then sometimes I think about this. How many fathers are out there, or how many partners, or just how many just people in general have just never asked themselves that question. What am I here for? Who am I? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what am I here for? Like, I chose, as the soul that I am, to come and have this experience.
I think sometimes we also just have to remind ourselves it doesn't actually. I agree. And I'm just thinking about the fact that you are you. You have twin girls. You live off grid. There's a freaking kangaroo right next to me right now. And you are not going to let fatherhood stop you from doing anything extraordinary in your life.
Yeah, but it started to. I had to pull myself up.
And great. But every father's going to go through that process of like, well, I'm just a father now. It's like, but you were like, wait a minute, no. And just that itself, the amount of fathers that are going to be like, wait, if Aaron can do it, I can do it. Yeah. And that's what I'm always trying to remember. I think for myself, I don't really know where I'm inspiring people right now. And so like, what's part of my story that people are like, well, if Sorelle can do it, then I can do it. So that's where I'm seeing my blind spots, but I can see it straight away just by you living, just by you existing. It's so, I'm inspired by your guys' family so much. Like, you're going to Japan soon. I know, this is why like my relationship with you is like, where you inspire me, is to help me find the middle ground of now being the father and being the provider and not losing myself. And it's just like, that's why I'm bouncing ideas off you, because it's like, you're seeing how I'm living and I've gone so far this way and I love it, but I also need to take a little bit from, you know, I do need to invest or do something. Like, it's like, money. No, but I need to go into my story of that. Hey, I can have an impact, help people, help myself, be there for everyone, show up for me, my family, and every being I come across, and make money doing it. Yeah. Because we do live in this world where we need money, where I'm always like, hey man, like, even when it comes to me climbing trees for people, I was like, I'll literally put myself on the line, like severely risk my life to help someone out, and do it for like next to nothing just so I can save the money. And then I'll come to like, oh, you know, say it was going to cost them $2,000, and I'm like, like if you give us $400 maybe, where I'm like, you know, like, and I'm so scared to even ask for that, where I'm like, hey, you know what, I'll be super happy if I get
$600-700 because that was pretty, or $700, bang, because that was pretty hectic for me. A lot of work, blah blah. You're happy, I'm happy.
Yeah.
But I seem to fall into this story where it's like, as long as you're happy,
Yeah.
I'll miss out. I can go without. It's cool. I just want to help you.
Yeah.
Where it's like, hang on a second, we can all win, and that's the energy where you're actually helping everyone.
I think that is a really something to dive into, because my partner also has something around money where he doesn't want to charge. I'm like, there's nothing wrong with charging at all. Like there's nothing wrong. And one of the things I used to tell myself was, how there's this quote, money's the root of all evil. I twisted it for myself, and I was like, the lack of money is the root of all evil. And the way that I used that was like, if I don't have the money and if I'm not like abundant, I can't show up the best in the world. So and because you go into this victim, like, oh, I can't afford it, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this, money, I don't have it, and then that's what limits you. So the lack of money can be the root of all evil for your own life as well, because it might restrict you too many ways. So it's like that every popular narrative around money, just flip it for a while. Like, money doesn't grow on trees. No, it actually does, except for Australia because it's plastic. But it's also all digital. Just flip it in your mind for a while and just see what happens. Because it's your mind is a computer, and it's been programmed for a very specific purpose, not for you to thrive. So you need to rewrite that code. That's it.
And you can do it.
And absolutely you can do it.
Yeah. All right. Well, on that note, Sorelle, thank you for, how I said to you before this, wherever it hits, it needs to hit. And I think there's a big part of this that's needed to hit me. So thank you so much for this chat, because it's been super inspiring to me, and also to get to know you a little bit more and actually hear your story, because so much of that I just had no idea who this person is behind the Sorelle, behind the YouTuber, and how you even got there. It's even
There's plenty more.
yeah, and we got to sit here with Ruby in the background, the kangaroo, and
Thank you.
A big thank you to Wild Earth Australia and Butter Insurance and yourself for listening to this one. Do me a favour, share this around, put it on your social media story, tell your mate, tell your mum, and let's inspire people together to live the incredible lives we all came here for. See you guys. Hurry up.